Thanks very much, Francis. You did speak to us about an hour or so ago. Have you spoken to anybody? What are the developments there so far?
Well, like you said, this is a gathering where business owners can come and see what other manufacturers are doing, where they can develop, offer their wares and talk about the state of manufacturing in South Africa and across Africa. And yes, we are now with Moeletsi Mbeki, who of course is an analyst, so he can talk about the state of manufacturing, also a business owner with some interesting and exciting developments linked to the African Union. But let's chat to him. Can we start, please, with where manufacturing is? So people have deplored the fact that the contribution to GDP is going down, and manufacturing is where you create the jobs.
Yes, the South African manufacturing sector has been declining as a percentage of GDP since the 1980s. In my view, because of mistaken policies by the government of South Africa, the ANC government. They adopted policies that were in opposition really to the development of the mining industry. Instead of modernizing the manufacturing industry, they opened it up to competition, and that's why it started shrinking throughout the...
So tariffs actually would have helped us, what they're doing in America now.
Oh, absolutely, this would have helped us. And the World Trade Organization gave South Africa, I think, 12 years to maintain its tariffs and to modernize its manufacturing industries. China, for example, China had very backward manufacturing sector, which was state-owned and state-dominated, but they modernize those industries. So we should have done the same thing. Anyway, we didn't do it. The consequence is that our manufacturing industries have shrunk. Now we have to rebuild the manufacturing sector, because without manufacturing sector we cannot address the huge poverty and unemployment that we're sitting with in South Africa today.
So what do you get out of this as a business owner, a gathering like this, looking at the state of manufacturing?
Well, there's a huge amount of expertise. For example, there was a panel just now which included the CEO of Volkswagen in South Africa. Now, Volkswagen is the world's largest car manufacturer. They make cars in China, cars all over the world, in the United States and South Africa. They are now planning to make cars in Kenya and so on. So he has huge amount of knowledge, and he pointed out to us, and I agree with him completely, because that's what my initiative is about, that we have to develop manufacturing on an Africa-wide scale, not just on South African scale. South Africa on its own, we don't have a big enough market. So we have to develop the manufacturing industry that addresses the whole African market. Don't forget that the population of Africa as a whole is as big as the population of India. Sure. It's over 1 billion people. But India is one market. We have to treat Africa as one market.
So tell me about steel now, because this is so topical. For years we've been complaining about cheap steel coming in from China. Now our steel can't go to America. What's the solution for Africa there?
Well, the solution for Africa, and I'm working on this with the African Union to try and address this, we need to build an African-owned steel company that takes advantage of the continental free market area that has been created by the African Union. But this company has to be owned by all the African investors, not just South Africans, but other investors. And the Africans have money. People think Africa is poor. There's huge amount of money. For example, the pension funds. Every country in Africa has a pension fund. The civil service pension fund, like PIC that we have in this country. So the money is there, but we are not working together as Africans. Now, the steel initiative that I'm working on together with the African Union is to try and use this new common market that has been created by the African Union to build large-scale steel manufacturers.
And this is what has been the buzzword for years, not much anymore, but beneficiation.
Well, beneficiation is only one part of it. There you have a whole lot of other issues that you have to address. Certainly we have to beneficiate. If you look at Africa now, over 100 million tons of iron ore are exported from Africa, including from South Africa. And then we import steel, which is made from our iron ore. Now that doesn't make sense.
Very quickly, should we be scared that the robots are coming, the fourth industrial revolution?
No, you see, this is good for soap operas, you know, this scaring people about the fear about the fourth industrial revolution. One of the speakers today pointed out that the most automated economies in the world are the Japanese and the German economies. And I was in Volkswagen's main factory in Germany a few weeks ago. Huge number of robots, but there were 30,000 people on the production line. So what they pointed out is that there's very low unemployment in Germany and Japan, despite the fact that they have these hugely automated industries.
Well, what about South Africa, where skills are low, finally?
Well, we have to develop our skills. There is no alternative to sorting out our education system. It is absolutely disgraceful that our public education system is so inefficient, so mismanagement, produces such low quality products.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Moeletsi Mbeki, businessman, analyst as well, and that steel project, very interesting. It would involve cooperation across African countries, but saying that free trade zone that we've been moving towards is suddenly beneficial. That's it from us, live from the Manufacturing Indaba in Sandton for now.
Thank you very much, Francis Hurd, our business anchor. I think Nzinga has a very interesting interview for us up next on Land.